Hi YouTube, this is my Spongebob Big Brother prediction video. Similar to the Mario Big Brother prediction video that I made, I will be predicting how well I think these 20 Spongebob characters would do in the Big Brother house, as well as the placement that I think they would receive. Starting off, at number 20, I have Mermaid Man. I think that Mermaid Man would be too slow to keep up with the game and be an easy out. I could see him doing the worst in the HOH challenge, which makes him a very easy person to nominate, and he would have very few allies. The only person that I could see sticking up for him would be Barnacle Boy, but I don't think that Barnacle Boy would be able to do enough social legwork to keep Mermaid Man in the game. At number 19 is Fred, or the My Leg guy. He would also be another easy person to get on the block to avoid getting blood on your hands. Unfortunately, I only think he would last 2 weeks, but during this time he would definitely be the comic relief and the funny character of the season. I think that he would probably be a very messy player and try and make an alliance with people, but it would instantly get leaked. I don't think people care enough about Fred to really trust him. Next, at number 18 is Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs is coming into the game with a massive target and some potential allies. I think that he would be too selfish to be a good ally, though, and people would get sick and tired of having him as an ally. I could see him leaving on Bubble Bass's HOH. At number 17 is Plankton. Similarly to Mr. Krabs, Plankton is coming into the game with a massive target on his back and very few people who want to work with him. He's definitely not long for the game. I think that nobody would really trust him and people would view him as a snake. I could see him leaving on SpongeBob's HOH. At number 16 is Bubble Bass. I think that Bubble Bass would be a really terrible player. He would have little to no social game, and he would bully a lot of people in the house. I think that he would also be viewed as a physical threat, as he could win an early HOH and be backdoored by Larry. At number 15, I have Patrick. I think that Patrick at some point is going to get nominated next to SpongeBob, but I could see SpongeBob winning the veto, which leads to Patrick being collateral damage. I would expect Dennis to win an HOH around this time, leading to Patrick's demise. I think that Patrick would be too dumb to play a good game, but he would also have a good social game, which could almost save him. At number 14 is Mrs. Puff. I think that Mrs. Puff is coming into the game in a weird spot. She has few allies that she can really work with, but she could also work with pretty much whoever she wants. I think that she could be a floater in the house, but not be well insulated enough. I think that she would be a very strategic player with a lot of good reads on the house, but she would get sniped for being a floater on Mindy's HOH. And number 13 is Pearl. Pearl would definitely be a loud and explosive player. I could see her getting in a lot of fights as well. I would expect her to leave on someone's HOH like a Dennis. I don't think that she would have much potential due to her attitude, but I could also see her making good bonds with certain people. At number 12, I have Squidward. I think that Squidward could be a very dangerous player. I think that he can form strategic ideas and bounce ideas off of allies and gain a lot of different information from different house guests. Unfortunately, I think that Squilliam would win HOH and target Squidward. Squidward would definitely be the big blindside of the pre-jury stage. At number 11 is Flying Dutchman. I honestly don't know what to do with Flying Dutchman. I don't think that he would be an early out, but I don't think he has much potential either. I don't think he would fully grasp the concept of Big Brother, and I think he's still learning the game as it goes on. I don't think that he would do a whole lot in the house, but I could see him almost flipping a vote to save himself at the last minute. I think that SpongeBob would target him and try and get him out around this stage. And number 10 is Barnacle Boy. I think that Barnacle Boy would be somewhat out of the loop, but he would also be loved by everyone. I think that he definitely could be a threat if he gets traction, but I don't think he will. I could see him being insulated within the majority alliance, but definitely not in the core. He would be a very expendable number to most people. I think that he would leave on Doodlebob's HOH. At number 9, the jury begins, and I think that the first member of the jury would be Karen. I think that Bubble Buddy would win HOH, and this is where the game really starts heating up. I think that Sandy would make an alliance of herself, Bubble Buddy, Larry, and Mindy, and they would decide to go after Karen as she is a massive social and strategic threat. I think that Karen would have a lot of great raids on the house, and similarly to Barnacle Boy, she could be a massive threat. At number 8 is Larry. I think that Larry would stay in control for most of the season and be in the majority alliance. I think he would be a massive target that nobody wants to take to the end though, and he would be a figurehead for his alliance. I think that him and Dennis would have a season-long rivalry and he would leave on Dennis's HOH. At number 7 is Spongebob. SpongeBob would also be a massive figurehead for his alliance, but he'd be saved by his good social game. Even though people view him as a massive threat, I think that people view him as someone that they could possibly work with. I think during the season he would repair his relationship with Doodlebob, and he would be a massive target and threat. I think that Sandy realizes that she needs to cut him loose because he can win, and Sandy would convince Squilliam to make this move and get SpongeBob out, which he later regrets. And number 6 is Dennis. Dennis would be the comp beast of the season. I think that he would play a very similar game to Larry, but having much less allies. He'd be a massive threat who's used as a shield, but I think he would get taken out by Mindy through Sandy's influence. At number 5 is Squilliam. Squilliam would play a great floater game, going back and forth between the Doodlebob and SpongeBob side of things and the Mindy, Sandy, and Bubble Buddy side of things. Unfortunately, I think that he would have the wrong read on the game and target his own ally in SpongeBob, who had his back more than Sandy and co ever would. I think that Squilliam has a lot of potential and can do well in almost any given season, as he has so many different options to work with. I think that he would leave on Bubble Buddy's HOH. And number 4 is Doodlebob. Doodlebob would definitely be the season's underdog. I think that he would have near-perfect reads on the game, but he can't convince his ally Squilliam to protect SpongeBob, which screws up his game. Doodlebob, for a lot of this season, would target Mindy and Sandy, but unfortunately, it just wouldn't work out for him. And number 3 is Sandy. I think that Sandy would come up just short and be the fallen angel of the season. I think that she would really run a lot of this game and would create the dominant alliance of herself, Bubble Buddy, and Mindy. If she makes it to the end, she almost undoubtedly wins, due to her strong strategic game, but people realize she's too big of a threat and has to go right before the end. And now for the final 2, in second place would be Bubble Buddy. I think that he would play a great game and make moves when necessary. He's very social and he can definitely win against most people, but I just don't think he's as respected as Mindy would be. I think that he beats anybody outside of Mindy and Sandy, and he plays a very great game. At number 1, the winner would be Mindy. Mindy is a very good social player, and I think that she would be able to win a lot of competitions as well. The best part about Mindy's game is her ability to make people feel like they can trust her. I think that her, Bubble Buddy, and Sandy would run a lot of this game, while Sandy would be the strategic force, and Mindy would be the social and physical player. I think that Mindy has an ability to do well in almost any given season. She's very well-rounded, and that's why I think that she will win this season. And that's my thoughts on my SpongeBob Big Brother prediction video. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.